What's good? Justin Righteous here. I like to yap on world topics. Here's another reaction video, so let's get straight into it.
I swear I became a multimillionaire.
I make
$120,000 last month.
I built a multi-million-pound business.
I built a multi-million-dollar wellness brand.
So I bought my first property in the UK at 23.
I drive a Porsche.
Just become a multi-million-dollar CEO.
I'm a businesswoman, and this is my business.
The secret to getting rich as fuck.
I will be a millionaire by the end of 2025.
This is not success. Welcome to 2025, when social media is your constant reminder that no matter how hard you work, you're still not doing enough.
I'm 17 years old and I make 6 figures a year strictly online.
Gen Z has become addicted to becoming successful, or at least
I think the issue is that we think that the only definition to success is being a millionaire. You know what I mean? Money definitely unlocks a lot of freedom in your life, but that's not the only definition of success. You know, you could be the worst person on earth. You could be mean to everybody around you. But if you're a millionaire, does that change who you are as a person? I don't know. Let's continue the video.
looking successful. If this is you, you're not alone. Those late nights, those early starts, the non-stop grind and your addiction to success, it's not about ambition, this is about survival.
Nothing in my life has been more difficult for me than trying to run this fucking company.
If you can relate, first up, you're not alone. And second up, you're definitely in the right place. Hey, if you're new, welcome to the cozy corner of the internet. I'm your host, Christina, and I help people stop shrinking and start living. If you're a people pleaser, an introvert, anything can be aestheticized. Marriage can be made to look aesthetic, relationships can be made to look aesthetic, going to work, working in a corporate job, living in a certain place, living in Dubai, living in New York, living in LA, being in Hollywood, being an actress, anything can be made to look really glamorous and aesthetic. And I think the shift we're noticing in social media is that there is a huge glamorization of being a CEO, being a girl boss, being a boss babe, running your own company, having a 6-figure business, having a 7-figure business, being a YouTuber. The likes of Iman Gadzhi or Shelby Sapp, the Kardashians, Grace Beverly, Inaya McMillan, Isabel Lorna, all these different influencers that showcase their lifestyle. Whether you're a fan or not, they've all achieved immense success at a young age. And collectively, they present this idea and notion that it's totally possible to achieve this level of wealth in your 20s. I don't have any particular problem with these influencers themselves that I've mentioned. I think broadly speaking, the broader picture on social media of our obsession with CEO culture and running a business and quitting your job and like bossing it and like scaling to a 7-figure company, this shift is a problem because it starts to make you think that there's a right way and a wrong way to live in your 20s. And it also starts to make you think that like success is always a good thing. Like success and running a 6-figure company, running a 7-figure company is always positive and it's always glamorous. You're always on first class flights. You're always drinking champagne. You always have like an amazing luxury car. And when you're a quote unquote normal person watching all this pan out on social media, yet you're dealing with the rising house prices and how it's much harder to own a home nowadays, or you're dealing with inflation and how literally getting your groceries is 50% more expensive, or you're dealing with how much harder it is to get into higher education and like prestigious institutions. Climbing the corporate ladder is much more difficult now. It's so much more competitive. Getting a job.
When it comes to things being more difficult, like making more money or affording a house because the housing prices are much more expensive, I think this really depends on what you choose, what kind of goals you choose in life. Because at the end of the day, there's a matrix. There's a matrix, right? So people that live by the matrix, people that follow the rules that are already determined to reach a certain level of success, they will reach that certain level of success. If you work hard to fucking run a Shopify store or something, then you're gonna reach a certain amount of money and woo woo. But like, what's going on right now is that these young millionaires, they're rewriting the matrix. They're changing the matrix. They're showing that they're adding new rules to what to how we can make money and how much money you can make. And those people that follow those rules, they will be living in that luxury car. They will be living in that big house. They will be living a certain type of lifestyle. But those that do not want to follow those rules, those people that just want to, you know, do fun things with their life and hang out with their friends and go on adventures and go hiking and play sports, you know, these people are not necessarily likely to become millionaires because they're not following the rules that was set by the Matrix.
Simply having a job that you work in 9 to 5 is much harder nowadays. You can't help but feel like there's something you're not doing or there's something missing. And we all know that social media is only one side of the story. Instagram quite literally is a highlight reel. Someone will live a 24-hour day and show you literally a 90-second reel. So like you miss out so much and no one's ever going to show like the bad parts of their lives. I saw this post on Reddit, which I thought was...
That's easily the hardest thing to deal with when it comes to the online world. If you are not able to discern between what's real, what's fake, what they show you and what they don't show you, then you're really gonna have a hard time navigating the social world.
Really interesting. Why does no one talk about it? I see posts about glamorizing being self-employed or having your own hours. Let me tell you, I own a business which is very successful. It's not glamorous. My friends do not envy me. I work from sun up to sundown. I manage situations and clients with personalities and expectations that no longer cause me to be surprised. I'm on call 7 days a week. My phone rings, bings and sings from 5 a.m. onwards. This is truly grueling work and it's totally worth it, but it's not glamorous. It's challenging and mentally exhausting sometimes. I'm proud of where I am, but I really wish the general population understood what they were signing up for. The payoff of success isn't free, you sacrifice for it. If you're a natural born achiever or someone who really wishes for like an incredible life in your future, you really aspire to have an extraordinary life. You don't want to just settle for a 9 to 5, get married, have kids, and then work for 40 years and then retire. Like you want something more. A lot of these figures, a lot of these influencers, these business owners will kind of be your North Star. Like you'll look to them for inspiration on what your next move is. You'll follow all of their advice. You'll follow all of their tips religiously. Like they are your beacon of hope that if they can do it, I can do it. And so it's natural that you'll follow them on social media to kind of get their advice, get their tips. You want to be in their world and constantly consume what they have to say. Sometimes it can turn into like a toxic relationship with comparison when you're looking at the hard work you're putting into your own life and your own job, your own education, and you're looking at them, maybe similar age to you or, you know, doing similar things, similar stage to life to you, and they're just reaping completely different rewards. And people always say, oh, comparison is a thief of joy. But I also find that comparison is the thief of originality. When you want to start a side hustle on the side of your day job and you see everyone else kind of, okay, they're all doing drop shipping or they're all starting an Etsy shop and selling like an ebook. You follow the tips, the advice, everyone's marketing in this way, everyone's posting Instagram tips in this way, everyone's using these colors on Instagram, everyone's using these like fonts on Instagram. Your goal and desire to achieve a certain lifestyle and to achieve an outcome has almost led you to become a bit of a follower where because you're comparing so much, you're not being original in any way. I find now being somewhat of a content creator now myself and being like on the cusp of this, I'm now starting to realize large influencers of 1 million plus, 5 million plus, they know that so many people will follow this exact thing. They will compare, lose their originality and just follow blindly like sheep because they are aware that they can say whatever they want and people will listen. They can say, oh, I built this 7-figure company and it was easy. And people will believe that. People will believe it and be like, oh yeah, just buy my course and, follow what I did, copy.
What people need to realize is that these millionaires, these people that have a certain business, have a certain company and make content, the content that they make is not a trap, but it's a way to grab the attention and to funnel it to their business. So you have to know that when you're watching the content. They might give you codes, they might give you secrets, but you gotta understand that that specific content is an advertisement. It's an advertisement for their business model. So if you really want to be like them, what you're supposed to do is make your own course too. You're supposed to make the content too instead of watch it.
Just copy me and it will be easy for you. People will do it because if I have what you want, chances are you will do anything that I say to achieve that thing. Which is why I'm a big believer, I've said it in videos before, don't believe everything you hear on the internet. Don't go listening blindly to people. Just because someone has 1 million followers does not mean they're correct. Like, I can't emphasize this enough. Having 1 million followers, honestly, as someone who is somewhat of a content creator, I would say it's more of a reflection of your consistency than your intensity. You're not doing anything too unique and like groundbreaking if you have 1 million followers. It's more so you're a very patient person, stuck around for a very long time, did the same thing over and over for many years. A lot of success can be bottled down to doing a very, very...
That's why you meet someone with 1 million followers, you meet them in real life and they're just like a regular person. They're like everyone else. There's nothing special to them. The biggest special thing is their consistency.
Boring thing repeatedly. There is sometimes quite a lot of shaming that happens towards wanting a simple life. Like, say you genuinely just want in life to work a job 9 to 5, have kids and settle down, and you're content with that. There's conversations, TikToks, podcasts I've seen where people are like shaming that slightly. It depends what corner of the internet you sit on. Maybe not this side of the internet, the cozy corner of the internet, but certain financial side hustle niches online, I definitely see shaming people that tend to like, save a little bit of money but don't invest. They just go to work. And I think shaming this lifestyle or choosing a simple life just simply isn't helpful, because it paints the picture that there is a right way to live your life. Like, the right way to live your life is working really hard and building something in your 20s, in your most healthiest years, and in your prime, like, you're busy behind a laptop, like hustling. Like, is that the right way to do it? Or is the right way to kind of like get experience in a job and work your way up a corporate ladder, learn about different industries, travel a little bit, spend time with family? What is the right way to live your 20s? Not working at all, going into debt, traveling, buying things, being indulging in the consumerist lifestyle? Is that the right way? Some people do it. Or simply living a very, very simple life, having a job, having some hobbies, not monetizing those hobbies, spending weekends with friends, not worrying too much about your 30s or too much about your future, just focusing about the now. What a lot of the boss babe, girl boss, CEO type content creators do very well is they do a lot of fear mongering. They instill a lot of shame in people. The thing about people with influence and people with a large following is that they really control the narrative. Like, I'm curious what our generation or what 2025 would feel like if the people with the most amount of followers, it wasn't, say, like Mr. Beast or, I don't know, like all these other finance content creators that you see online. Instead, it was like someone that just like loves to spend time with their friends on a weekend and play Monopoly. I'm convinced purely because of the rise in hyper productivity culture or CEO culture, there are so many people that have started side hustles purely out of shame. They don't want to feel lazy and left behind. They don't want to feel like a failure by the time they're 30 because they don't have $1 million in the bank account. And I mean, you could argue, Christina, well, surely you can just make money for the sake of making money. It doesn't have to be meaningful. You're totally right. And I agree. That's, to most people, a job. A lot of people, I think, nowadays are more accepting of the fact that a job just can pay the bills. It doesn't have to be your ride or die, like, purpose and reason to live. I don't think, personally, your job should be like your all-encompassing life mission, especially if that's a job that you're working for someone else. Because the harsh reality is, for a lot of corporations, like bigger institutional companies, they really do just see you as an employee. Like, you staying late, you grinding, you absolutely...
Yeah, you really need to know that most big corporations, most big companies, they literally just see you as a number, as an ant, as a hand that's working for them. They see you as like, as soon as you get out of line, they're going to replace you because they just need someone that's gonna make their machine work. Just like an ant farm, all the ants look the same. If you lose one ant, not much is going to change.
Putting in like your heart and soul into your work. Sure, they love it because it benefits them, but there's quite rarely an incentive or reward for giving your absolute all to your job. If anything, the corporate landscape has never been more savage ever in any period of time. People will get laid off that have worked at a company for 20 years, 25 years. I personally, having seen so much now, having known this now, my purpose and my mission and like my drive and the thing that like wakes me up in the morning will have to always lie outside of a job, or it'll always lie outside of like my primary like focus. And it's a shame because a lot of these people that are so driven and so like they want a lot out of their career and a lot out of their job, I feel like we have a fear of being average. This was something that I had big time when I was younger. Like, I remember when I was applying for med school and I had to get really good grades, like the thought of getting like a B grade or getting a C grade would like literally make me nauseous. And the thing about really toxic self-imposed pressure like that is that unfortunately it works. I got into med school. I'm a doctor now. I graduated. Like, sometimes putting that intense, insane pressure on yourself does work. It helps you get the outcome. But by the end of it, do you like yourself? Are you at peace with yourself when you do perform in an average way? Can you go a standard regular week without comparing yourself to someone, realizing that you're like behind them and not having that gut like sinking feeling that like, oh, I need to catch up, I'm so behind? And can you walk off of that being like, oh, I have room to improve, I'm still confident in my ability? Or are you now spiraling, oh, I'm a failure, I have so much more to prove, I have to grind, I have to pick myself back up? For the longest time, I thought this was just like a me thing. I thought like, oh, I'm a Capricorn, this is just how life is. But having spoken to a bunch bunch of you guys. I know a bunch of you feel the same. Some of you guys are actually so smart. Like, I've spoken to some of you guys that have PhDs. Some of you guys are medical students. Some of you guys are doctors, have PhDs. Like, a lot of us feel the same way. This self-imposed toxic pressure, this like perfectionist mindset that if we are not the absolute best, then you're not good enough. Like, it's such a black and white way to think. This is actually something I'm talking about in my ebook, Stop Shrinking, Start Living. It's essentially like a guide that I've come up with, like having all my experience with social anxiety and being a perfectionist, feeling like I'm never ever good enough unless I'm the absolute best, and feeling
Perfectionism is only a problem if it's not in line with what you want to do in life. If it's in line with what you want to achieve in life, then you should aim to be perfect, because that's going to really make you feel fulfilled. That's really going to upgrade your confidence, everything. Like, but if in the back of your mind you're doing it for somebody else, then that's going to absolutely destroy you. So you also have to make sure that what you're trying to be perfect in, what you're working hard to achieve, is something that's for you, that's deep down in your heart. It could be anything. It could be gaming. It could be painting. It could be having a clothing brand. It could be making content. It could be becoming an engineer, becoming a doctor. No matter what it is, like becoming a lawyer, like it just has to be in line with your actual desires. And it takes time to really know what you desire in life, especially if you had a lot of people talking talking in your head like your whole life.
like I never know how to use my voice and speak up, and like I don't know how to be myself. I'm pouring everything I know into this ebook, and it's going to come out on March the 1st. I'll put a link below if you want to check it out. When you are this sort of person as well, I think you develop this thing which I call shoestring confidence. Shoestring confidence is when you put all your energy, time and effort into one thing, one area of your life. For me, it was med school, like getting into medical school, getting the grades to get into medical school. For you, maybe it's your job, like you're like one of the top employees at your firm, or maybe like you're one of the higher earners, or maybe you're like a very academic, intelligent student, you get the best grades. All of your confidence comes from this very one thing. But the moment you get negative criticism, you get something wrong, you actually get a B on the test instead of an A+, your whole world comes crumbling down, because it's kind of like your confidence was riding on like a shoestring, kind of like, imagine like a huge concrete ball being attached to like a tiny piece of string. It's so fragile. Like your self-esteem and your self-confidence is so fragile that if anything comes to attack it, like your boss saying something or not doing that well on a test, your whole world comes crumbling down. Like you start to question your identity almost. This is exactly what happened to me in med school, when halfway through, people deemed third year the halfway point as like the hardest year of med school. And when I did some of my exams, I failed them quite badly. Like I was like well over 10% below what I needed to be. I remember opening my results and being like literally just disbelief, almost like, oh no, they've got the wrong person. Like this surely can't be my grade. I know that hurt. Page like a million times. I carried on with my day, like was like surely not, disbelief, like heartbreak as well. When I finally did just accept and realize like, oh my god, even though I like worked my absolute arse off, it still wasn't enough. I was questioning like, how on earth can I do more than this? What if I fail again? What if I get kicked out? Like my whole identity and personality was under question now, because something I'd worked so hard for and the thing that my confidence was riding on just fell apart. At the time, the window to qualify as successful was very, very narrow. It was get an amazing result on a test first time, or it was score this grade but like with only a little effort into studying. Like my room for error was so slim. I didn't give myself any leeway to try, experiment, make mistakes. It was like you get it right immediately and quickly, or like you're a failure, you're wrong. I feel like a lot of us with this perfectionist mindset, we're very much like, oh no, by the time I start my Etsy shop, I want to be making money in the first month. Or by the time I start my YouTube channel in the first 3 months, I want 1,000 subscribers. We see failure as any sign of like trying or any effort. If you have to try to build your Etsy shop for a year before you start making money, that's a failure. Like why bother trying? That takes too long. If you have to start posting on YouTube for a year or 2 years before you see before you get monetized, before you start making money, oh, that's a failure. Like why should you wait that long? And I don't know whether this is a Gen Z thing or whether actually this is multi-generational. Maybe this has been a thing since the 90s, 80s, I don't know. But I feel like a lot of us are so immediate with our desire for success. We want it in our 20s. Like by the time you're 25, you need to be getting 6 figures. Like it's ridiculous. Which is why I think defining success for yourself is really important, because like I said earlier, sometimes if you are a little bit lost, you don't truly know what you even want from life, which, don't get me wrong, a lot of us don't even know. I to some extent don't even fully know myself. Something I found really helpful, and honestly my YouTube channel has actually helped me to experiment with this, is understanding that things that I'm working on can grow with me. Like, I was that person when I started my YouTube channel. I wanted like immediate success. I wanted like in the first 3 months I'm going to grow so quickly, and I literally had the goal of in a year I want 100,000 subscribers. It's taken me now probably 4 years. I think I started my first video was 4 years ago, so it took me 4 times as long to get the goal. And something I'm realizing now is I'm like looking more to the future of 200, 300. I'm like, I have to grow towards my goal. Like, the goal will always be there for me to go and accept it, or for me to go and achieve it. And I believe the same for you, whether it's having an Etsy shop or having a side hustle, maybe changing careers, going into a different industry, getting a new job, that is always available for you. But to achieve it and kind of grasp it in your hands, you have to grow in certain ways that you maybe aren't even aware of. Hey guys, I've just finished filming, but I wanted to quickly come in and say our Discord and Facebook group is now live. Yeah, this is now so much for being very easy to us to like work hard. If you ask us to like grind, pull an all-nighter, like work till crazy hours in the morning, we'll do it. Like, we are hard workers. It's in our DNA. Give this video a thumbs up if you can relate, because I know some people aren't into the toxic work hustle culture thing. At the core, that is kind of who I am. I don't find it easy to work hard. I don't find it easy to hustle and grind, but I do find it hard to accept that like I might make mistakes along the way, or it might take a really long time to get what I want to get, or I'm gonna have to look like I'm failing in order to get what I want. And this can be represented in the sense that when you do apply for jobs nowadays, you're applying for minimum 100 jobs before you hear back, or you're doing minimum like 7, 8, 9 interviews before you get like anything substantial. If you want to start a business and you need clients, you're sending out hundreds. Honestly, something that took me too long to realize was that trying and looking like you're failing isn't a bad sign. It's actually a good sign, because all the people we look up to, these people with millions of followers, these people on YouTube, on TikTok, with these 7-figure companies, we haven't seen them try and struggle and hustle and grind.
All those people that we think they've had overnight success did not have overnight success, unless they were born like that, right? We did not see the years of grinding that they did. We just saw the quantum leap. We saw the quantum jump from one energy state to a higher energy state. That's what we saw. We didn't see all the energy it took them to absorb to achieve that quantum leap. So that's another thing that you always have to take into account. There's always a grind phase. Look at Batman. His parents got when he was a kid. Look at all these superheroes. There was a grind phase before they became what they became.
Haven't seen them look like they're being stupid and sending out hundreds of emails with no responses. We just see them at the end of the finish line. We don't see their training. We don't see their diet. We don't see their beaten up. And we're looking at ourselves thinking, Christina, you're so stupid. You've been posting videos for 3 months and you've only got 20.
It's like we see NFL players, NBA players, MLB players. We see them when they're pro. We see them when they're a pro. They are 25 years old at that point. We did not look at the 20 last years of them grinding. Imagine 20 years for them to become a pro. And you think you're going to be a millionaire in 1 month, 2 months? Imagine.
3 subscribers. I've learned now your success isn't really going to be determined by like, what do you really want? What's your desire? Your success will be determined by how much are you willing to go through? How stupid are you willing to look? How many emails are you willing to send? How embarrassing are you willing to feel? How cringy are you willing to be? How much judgment can you handle from other people?
Yeah. It's all about how much shit can you handle. All the bullshit, the amount of bullshit that you can handle will pretty much determine your level of success.
Actually what will determine your success, because lots of people post 3 videos before they quit, or lots of people send maybe 10 emails before they give up. You have the advantage of the fact that you are willing to work hard. You have the difficult thing, but the easy thing of just looking stupid, looking like a weirdo, being embarrassed, being courageous and sending like a bold message to someone, and just like being cheeky and sending it and not knowing it whether or not they'll think that like, who do you think you are or not? Like, just do it. A lot of people can handle like doing the same thing over and over again and not going crazy. And another thing, I was actually talking to one of you guys about this on Zoom, because I was talking to a bunch of you guys last week about the community. It's coming in February and it's going to be on Discord and also in a Facebook group that's coming very, very soon. I was talking to you guys about what I was going to put in it and like ideas and all this stuff. And one of you guys was talking to me about how you're job hunting. And I think I was saying how I've realized getting a job nowadays is not even to do with job applications. It's honestly networking. Like if you know someone that knows someone, that is like 400 plus job applications. Like if you just know someone that can get you in a job, you are miles ahead. And I was talking about how I had to get over my fear of looking like too.
All right, that's it for the video. What are your thoughts? Comment your thoughts down below. I think that she brings up a very, very necessary and important point that will, make the world a better place if people actually take in what is being said inside this video. You just got to be humble in life. You just got to do what you want to do in life and just make sure that you're working hard towards it. That's it. That's really the only code, and you got to take action. Action is the only thing that differentiates the most successful person to, the most average person. That's it. Thank you for watching. I'll catch y'all in the next one.